Hey, what's up guys? It's Matt with SuckMyMod. Today we're going to take a look at another rebuildable dripping atomizer. This one is definitely geared towards the cloud chasing community. If you're on Facebook a lot in the vaping groups, you've probably heard the buzz about it. It's inexpensive and it's got airflow for days. So let's go ahead and take a look at the Mutation X RDA. All right, now this is the Mutation X RDA. From the looks of it, without looking at the airflow holes, it's pretty standard. It's got that basic toe batty look. You know, it's got the heat sink up top. There's really nothing crazy going on with it. But when you get to the airflow, that's where it gets quite unique. If you haven't noticed, a lot of like the cloud chasers and stuff lately, maybe not lately, maybe they've been doing this for a while, but I see it more and more often where they're punching these holes, you know, that go up at an angle on their addies. Apparently this helps with the airflow and producing bigger clouds, gives some sort of reaction inside the addy, maybe some sort of like whirlwind type thing. I don't know. I'm honestly not an expert at cloud chasing. I like to sub-ohm vape. I like blowing big clouds, but I'm definitely not like, I've never been in a cloud contest or anything like that. This does have airflow control as well, so you can close it off. Now, this is made in China, but from what I've heard, it is something that was designed in the States. I don't know exactly what company designed it. I mean, it's called the Indulgence Mutation X. Now, I got this from Steam Engine Vaping Company. They told me that another shop, I don't know who, created this design, then had them, you know, produced in China, and then, you know, now they're up for sale in the States from a few different shops. And it's cheap. I believe Steam Engine has this for $30. Now, they don't have a website, but they take phone call orders. I could definitely vouch for them too. So if you want to buy one of these from them, I will put their phone number in the description. So, you know, this is one of those that, you know, I may not be like the perfect person to review it because I'm not a competition cloud chaser, but I could see the appeal of it. I mean, I have some of the air holes closed right now, but wide open. I mean, this is the airiest addy I've ever tried. Now, I have it on the 29 mod clone. I think it's about a 0.2 build. I honestly should have built it even lower with this much airflow, but I will hit it real quick and show you how it's doing. Not like major, huge clouds. I know I'm not awesome, but I mean, it produces them for sure. I have too much liquid in here. There are some things with the airflow that I'm not too sure about. Like, you know, with the way the AFC works, if you close off any of the holes, it kind of defeats the purpose of having the diagonal holes because it doesn't close the holes off in a diagonal manner. So it kind of takes away from that whole diagonal shape that you have going on when you close it off. I talked to Kurt from Cloud Chasers Inc. He had kind of mentioned the same thing. And, you know, there's not much else I could talk about without us going up close. So let's go ahead and do that now. All right, so here is the Mutation X in its packaging. Indulgence Mutation X. I'm not sure what that is, if that's a company name or not. Like I said, what I heard is that someone in the States had this manufactured in China, but I really don't know. Now, it looks like they're kind of, you know, stealing a page out of Uday's playbook with the packaging, or maybe it was made in the same plant. I don't know. It's got that same look, which is cool. I like Uday's packaging, and this is neat too. It says 2 negative posts, 18 unique adjustable air holes, extremely limited voltage drop, huge vapor, and perfect taste. See, that's something that Uday would have said, so it's kind of interesting. I wonder if these are made in the same place. Then there's a note right here. What does this say? It says, note, the spare parts and drip tip has been placed behind of the gift box. Yeah, that's right. So we'll pop out the addy here. In the back, there is a drip tip and some spare parts. Drip tip's got a pretty wide bore. I haven't used it. A screwdriver, some screws, some O-rings, so that's always a nice touch. All right, so there's the packaging. Let's put that aside. Okay, so here is the Mutation X. Now, as you can see, it's very Taube-esque. It is adjusted, the airflow is adjusted from this top piece, though. It's kind of like that Infinite CLT where it borrows some things from a few different addies. You know, it's got the heat sink right here. It's a 3-piece addy. The bottom base is Mutation X, and that's a silver-plated pin. It's silver-plated brass or silver-plated copper, but that's a nice touch, and it does have a serial number, which is 210. So again, another thing that's really cool. Pulling off the cap here, that's the way the airflow adjusts, is these 2 tabs. As you can see, it does have a conical design in it as well. It's got the heat sink, the fins going on, so helps keep your drip tip from getting too hot. And then there is the air holes. Now, right off the bat, I'll show you something. One thing that I know, and like I said, I was talking to Kurt about it, is that, you know, you got these angled holes here. Now, that's going to be too much airflow for some people, maybe unless you do like a crazy, crazy low build, like a, you know, 0.08 or something. And I'm not suggesting that at all. But that's going to be a little too much airflow for what most people want. But see, then if you close the airflow off, it kind of does away with having those equal diagonal lines of holes, right? It still vapes great, still gives great, you know, a great vape and a lot of clouds, but it kind of, when you start adjusting this, it does away with the whole idea of those diagonal holes having, you know, a couple lines of diagonal holes evenly and stuff. I don't know, like for the cloud chasers, how much that'll affect them. I don't know exactly even what the diagonal lines of holes does exactly. Maybe, you know, create some kind of whirlwind or something inside there. I don't know. I'm just showing you that, you know, once you close those off, it takes away that pattern. So, you know, you close those 3 off, which is, I think that's what I've been doing. And then it's kind of like a triangle type pattern. You don't have that, you know, angled lines of holes. Hopefully that makes sense. Let's pull this thing apart. It's double O-ringed. The O-rings are, you know, it has a nice fit, but it's definitely not tight. It could be just a little bit tighter when you put everything together. You know, especially this piece, it seems like it's just a little too easy to pop on and off. I haven't had any issues with liquid or anything getting down there, and it is still making a seal, but just keep that in mind. It does come off easy. This piece does twist easy around the base and stuff, but there is the build deck. Looks very familiar. A lot of drippers are looking like this lately. Looks like the 2 negatives are milled into the base there, which is always nice. Then you got a center post. The holes are nice and big. They aren't where like one is, you know, the middle hole is higher than the other 2. They're all at the same height, which whatever, that's fine. But I do like it when the center post hole is a little higher. I kind of did sort of a center post build. It's not a perfect center post build, but close. 24 gauge. I think this ohms out to about 0.2. I'm not gonna build this because this is for cloud chasers, and if you're a cloud chaser, you should already know how to build, and it's just another 3-post addy design, and I just don't think I need to build every 3-post addy that I review. Now that well, as you can see, is really deep. Love this trend lately. I mean, it seems like every addy that's coming out just has a super deep well, like they're trying to beat each other now. Everything seems really well made. The post didn't spin or anything like that. It holds a good amount of juice. The post holes are more than adequate for a majority of the builds you're going to want to do. I mean, they're really good size. I don't know if you can see it, but that center hole, you can see right down there, that center hole is massive. So you should be able to get stuff like, you know, parallel 24, 22 gauge, whatever you guys like to do in here, no problem. That hole is like a Mephisto type hole. I mean, that it's a huge hole. All right, so there's not really much else to show you. Let's go ahead and wick it real quick. All right, so there it is, all wicked up and juiced up. I mean, you can get a lot of juice in this thing. Really nice deep well. It obviously fires really nicely. Fires better when I don't flood it, but you'd probably think something was wrong with me if I didn't flood a dripper. So putting it back together, now the way I've been doing it, and maybe somebody will tell me I'm wrong, is I've been lining up that bottom set of holes with my coil. So I look inside there, I try to line up that bottom set, and then I push them down, as you can see, you know, so it looks like that. Putting it back together, then you can put the top cap back on, put the drip tip on, and we are good to go. So let's go ahead and go back up top and vape it and talk about it a little more. All right, so here is the Mutation X RDA. I have it on the 29 mod clone 0.2 build. I'm gonna vape it wide open and I'll show you how it does. Yeah, I mean, that's a lot of air. It's a lot of air. Some of you guys will probably like it. Too much air for me. I like an open draw, but I mean, that's a ton of air. You got 9 holes on both sides. Each of them look like they're like a 1/16 of an inch, maybe even bigger. It's just a lot of air. Obviously, with that much air, it does take a little bit away from flavor. It's not a huge chamber in there. You know, it's about the size of the tobe the whole Addy is. So, you know, if you drill out your tobe a bunch and have that much airflow in your tobe, it's going to taste the same as this. There's not really any difference. So $30 though for like an authentic RDA, even though it does borrow some things from other RDAs, which they seem to all do now. I think that's a good deal for you cloud chasers. Now, if you're like a flavor junkie or just like a normal vapor that wants to get into RDAs or something, I definitely wouldn't buy this, you know, as your first RDA. If you want something that's got airflow for days, then buy it. I have been liking to close it off, like 3 holes right there. Still a lot of air. I'll show you how that does. I mean, it's not a bad dripper for the price. If you don't want, you know, if you want to get an authentic and you don't want to get a clone, $30, and you know you drill yours out anyway. It's not a bad price. I just think that that's a ton of air. I think some cloud chasers might even think that that's too much air, depending on how you build it. But you know, and then if you close it off, it does away with the whole point of having the diagonal holes. But it still gives off a good vape. It still vapes well. I'll say that. So, you know, whether or not you should buy it or not, it's made well. It works well. There's nothing janky with it. You know, just looking at it, being a cloud chaser and looking at it, you should be able to tell whether or not this is something that you want to buy. I know it's been pretty popular lately, and I think that it'll probably sell a lot because people love the crazy airflow. Be interesting to see how this does like in some of the cloud comps and stuff. So hopefully we see it there. And you know, I think it's nice that there's another option that's not a clone for people that's still inexpensive. $30. It's not bad at all. So I will give you guys the phone number for Steam Engine Vaping Co. They are a legit company. They have a Facebook page, a brick and mortar, but they don't have a site you can buy those from. Everybody I know that's bought them from them, they've gotten them quickly. This one came quickly, so I definitely vouch for them if you want to buy one from them. That about wraps it up, guys. I don't have anything else for you. So until next time, thanks for watching. Suck my mod.